Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm gonna do some live coding tonight. I know Thursday's typically my craft time. I've been working on a giant, like, ridiculous, makes me giggle every time I pick it up, dragon over here. All the pieces are done. I'm gonna get to painting it at some point, but I'm probably gonna have to prime it with like an actual shaker can of spray paint, because priming that with the airbrush is gonna take forever. But it's gonna be really fun to paint once we're done. So. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Had problems sleeping last night, so I played a little Star Wars Old Republic. But hadn't coded in a little while, and I want to finish up working on some of the giveaway bot stuff for July, since July's coming up really, really soon. We're doing a whole month-long giveaway thing again. And so, per usual, I like to kind of update how I do the giveaways and things like that. So I want to make sure that goes into picking all this stuff. So I'm going to go through some of the code. If anybody wants to see any of the code, hey, Jaybringer, good to see you. Oh, she got the sign? Awesome. That's great. Cool. I'm glad it got there. Hope it got there in one piece. It wasn't like dinged up or anything, but awesome. Good to hear. I still have to finish engraving the nurse signs that you wanted and get those mailed out. I sent a couple to 86 Carrera, and one of them showed up broken. So I wrote on the envelope, like, do not bend, and it was snapped in half anyway. So it's kind of disappointing. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. So I need to find, like, a good way that I can send those that, it's not going to break. So anyway. Cool. Well, I'm glad it showed up well. I wanted to put my name on the back, like the iandouglas736 or the Ian Douglas LLC. And I kind of laid it out in the software, and I flipped the sign over to engrave on the back and realized the font was gigantic. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I meant to be like itty-bitty, tiny little, made by Ian Douglas kind of thing. But the font was like half an inch tall or something. So anyway. Yeah, hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, so I'm going to work on some code tonight. Absolutely happy to take feedback on the giveaway bot and stuff we're going to be doing. So feel free to like try out the commands as we're going. I want to try and break this as much as possible before this all goes live in July. I didn't even bother looking at what the calendar looks like in July for when I'm actually going to be streaming and stuff. I should probably go figure that out. Which one of these? One of these mini windows. There it is. All right, so for the month of July, so July 1st starts on a Saturday. So Canada Day is a Saturday this year. Cool. So I will stream on July the 2nd. Probably won't stream on the 4th. We'll see. I might. We'll see. We tend to go out and do fireworks and stuff like that on the 4th. So may or may not stream. I may take that Monday off. If I take the Monday off, I'll probably stream on the Monday. Thursday the 6th. I think I've got something going on at work the night of the 6th. I need to double check. So I may not be streaming July 6th, but whenever we do the month-long giveaway, I try to stream extra sessions so you can certainly come through and do the exclamation point giveaway or whatever I'm calling it kind of as we go. So typically today would be Maker Day, like you just see over here in chat, but I'm actually going to be doing some live coding tonight. So Triclaw, good to see you. Talk about an open beta. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're all going to help me shape this kind of as we go. So if you have questions about like what I'm doing and why, I did go over this a little bit like really, really late last night. But since it is Thursday, I do want to show a little bit of crafting. So I want to show how big this thing is relative to the 100% scale dragon. So give me a second to go get the 100%, and I'll show you how much bigger this thing is. So this is our 100% scale. So this is a 100% scale dragon. I printed it at 100% scale in resin, and that was the smog dragon that I just finished up and posted on Instagram. You can go check out my socials over there if you want to go see photos of that. I'm still working on getting that packaged up and shipped to Canada. It's probably going to show up late for the birthday present. But so this is 100% scale. Obviously, I don't glue this. I don't glue it together till it's like ready to ship or ready to display. But that's 100% scale. So it's about 14 inches long, 12 to 14 inches long. The wingspan is like 8 to 10 inches, and it's only like 6 inches tall or something like that. So I'm gonna hang onto the head and the neck. So for scale, somewhere, I guess I moved it. Let me go get one of the horns. Okay, so for scale, on the head, on the dragon head, there are two sets of horns. There's a large horn that goes on the top, and there's a smaller horn that goes in the bottom of the jaw here. So you got these two openings on the head. So a big one goes in this one, and a smaller one goes in this one. And this is the size of the large horn. And you clip it off the base, and then it's basically just a ball and socket. So you can kind of figure out, do I want to face the horn in towards the neck, out away from the neck? Do I want to face it up, face it down? You've got all those choices. This is 100% scale. I supersized Mr. Dragon to 220% scale, and that's the same horn at 220% scale. So just to give you a little forewarning of how big this thing is. So here's the 100% scale head and neck. This is the 220% scale head and neck. So the one that we painted ice blue in April and May, that RC Maniac won in the giveaway, that was 140%. So it was slightly bigger than this. This is 220% scale. So let me go get the rest of the body and show you the ridiculous nature of what I made. I'm going to do it from back here. So this is 220% scale. And I used up all of the Polyterra filament I could find to print this thing. So this is 220% scale. This is probably 2 full spools of filament and then some. So that's our 220% scale. I'm gonna attempt to airbrush this. Although I kind of like the colors, it definitely got pretty colorful, like running out of filament and like using up all the filament. But this is the 220% scale dragon. So again, this is the body of the 100% dragon for scale. This is the 100% dragon next to the 200% dragon, 220% dragon. So pretty enormous, and also pretty heavy. Not gonna lie, it's ridiculously large. Whenever I would turn around and look at this thing on the printer, and like even just the size of these wings, it literally made me like giggle. I'm like, look at how stupid big that thing is. Like that's gonna be a real pain in the butt to try to paint. Here's just one of the wings. I'll compare that against the 100% scale wing, just to give you an idea, in case you haven't already gotten the idea that this thing is stupid big. So here is the 100% scale wing next to the 220% scale wing. It's freaking enormous. Anyway, so we're gonna have some fun painting this for sure. we're going to be able to get in and do a lot of really, really fine detail. But I have no idea what I'm going to do with this thing when I'm done painting it. Like, I literally have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I might, like, auction it off for charity or something. I don't know. We'll see. But it's enormous for sure. So on the back of the wing, it's got more of these sockets. And these are the little claws that go on the back of the wing, basically. And these all print together. These horns are almost as tall as the 100% horn that goes in the skull of the 100% dragon. Like, stupidly large. It was a lot of fun to print. Anyway. Hey, Zooey. Good to see you. So Zooey got a Deadpool coaster in. What's the other silver thing that came with it? So it was a mirror. So it's a little hexagon mirror that I also etched Deadpool's face into. So yeah, I thought I'd surprise you with that. It was just a little hexagon mirror. So you can peel the front off of it. I think it's just a protective coating. You can peel that off and you should see just the Deadpool sticker. But then you can peel the back off and you can actually stick it on something. So yeah, so we're gonna work on chatbot stuff tonight. So I've got a bunch of ideas. I've been working on kind of the agenda of what I want to do. Can't help but have fun with Deadpool, yeah. So I custom designed a coaster for Zooey with maximum effort. So it's the Deadpool logo with maximum effort kind of written around the bottom of the thing. And then I made just a Deadpool, like just the round logo with the two eyes in it. On a little hexagon mirror. So those little plastic mirrors actually laser etch really nicely. They actually came out pretty nice. I was pretty impressed with it. Getting them centered on the laser engraving board was a little tricky. I might have to play around a little bit and like make another jig specifically for those to like put them down in. But they etch pretty nice once you get it placed down. And like I didn't want to take the backing off to stick it on something and to stay in place. But they're light enough that if I turn on what we call the air assist, which typically blows away the smoke and the dust, those little plastic mirrors are light enough that they blow away, and then they're out of alignment and it messes them up. So, good times. Anyway, so I'm going to be working on code. Feel free to jump in if you got questions about what I'm doing or ideas. That would be really, really helpful. So this is kind of the agenda that I want to work through a little bit. Let me pull this window down so y'all can see what I see. So the way that I'm tracking this stuff in the browser now is I'm going to be tracking a lot more data about what everybody does in chat, like how you engage with the stream, how long you're watching the stream, stuff like that. Came to relax from your data analysis class. Sweet. And what do you see? More Python. That's right. And dragons. Lots and lots of big, giant, like ridiculously big dragons. But good to see you, Mark H. Hope things in North Carolina are good. Mark, I'm going to be out in North Carolina middle of October, I believe. There's a tech conference out there called All Things Open. I'm going to be speaking at that event. So yeah, I don't know if you're in or near Raleigh, North Carolina, but if you're around that area or it's not too far away, let's hang out. I think it's like 14th to the 16th or something like that. Oh, it's in Charlotte. Oh, you're in Charlotte, 3 hours away? Okay, well, that's not very feasible then. Because I'll be taking Ubers and stuff. That would be a little spendy to take an Uber for an hour and a half. Anyway, so I basically, I'm going to start tracking a little bit more activity in Airtable. So if I go over here and show you what I got going in Airtable. So if you do > register, there's basically going to be like a registration panel here where you can give me like your Twitch username. If you have a name for our other community, the Discord community, it'll pop up in chat over there probably. If you subscribe to the newsletter, what email address did you use to subscribe to the newsletter? And then the email address for your YouTube profile. That way I can kind of track engagement. Like if you like a YouTube video, I'm hoping that I can figure out like who likes the videos. and I can maybe like give you extra giveaway points if you go like videos and leave comments on videos and stuff like that. LinkedIn profile, that's and Twitter profile, that's going to be for me to watch if you're posting about the stream and the giveaways and things like that, just as a way of saying thank you. What country you live in, and like name and address and shipping address and things like that. And then for Twitch, I want to track like the number of minutes you watch the stream, and then how many commands you're running, how much you're chatting, and things like that. So I know it feels a little invasive, but I'm just trying this out, and it might be something that I like totally give up on for some of the stuff. But the things that I want to track are things like sharing links about the stream. So if you tweet or retweet or something that I'm going live and I'm going to be raising money for STEM to the Future and things like that, if you tweet that and come back in here and share that link, then that's going to give you additional giveaway entries for whatever we're giving away in July. And the idea here is that you're going to build up kind of these giveaway points, and then you'll be able to allocate, depending on what I'm giving away, you'll be able to allocate some of those points to the giveaway. So for example, if I do like an articulated dragon and, the big enormous monster dragon back here, and you're like, I don't want the big enormous one, but I do want an articulated dragon, that you can say, I want to enter 10 of my points for the articulated dragon. And then, once I decide what the really big giveaway thing is going to be, then you can say, okay, I want to put like 100 points on that one or 1,000 points on that one. You all have been accruing channel points as well. So I've actually got a channel point redeem for you to redeem once per stream. You can come in and you can say, I want to redeem 10,000 of my channel points for a certain number of giveaway tickets as well. Right now, I think I've got it as at like 1,000 to 1 ratio. All things open. Yep, that's the one. I don't think I'm showing up yet as a speaker on there, but I will at some point. I think they're still working through the registration pages and stuff like that, but I will be on there. Oh, I am there? Oh, sweet. Yeah, that's me. So the idea here is you'll be able to post those links, and I'll be able to evaluate like kind of the quality of the link. Like, is it a good link? Or are you being kind of spammy about things? And I can award more points for links. I've also got a new question queue. So if you do !Q and then type in a question, that's going to get saved in a queue. So for example, someone came in last night and they added a question, which of the coding languages Rust, Go, Kotlin, and Swift are going to be used in a lot of companies and people in the future. So I'll be able to come through here and I can do like !Q, and it's going to say, here's the last question in the queue that I have not yet answered. And then I can see from this that it's question number 22, and then I can come in and say, okay, I've answered question number 22, and if I don't assign any points, it'll automatically give it 2 giveaway entries. Or I can say like, oh, that was actually a really good question, and I can assign it 3 points or 5 points or whatever. Or I can come in and say, oh, you know what, that particular question was actually like really spammy and that person's a jerk, and I'm going to award it -5 points. And so I can actually take away giveaway entries by assigning negative points to things. I don't anticipate having to set negative points on things, but then we're going to go through and it's I'm going to have like a cron job, and that's part of my agenda tonight, to come through here and say, go tabulate all of these points, put them all into this entries table, so everyone will have a row in here for, if you send in a resume for a review, that's maybe worth 25 giveaway points. If you rate into the channel, the number of points you get will be based on the size of the audience that you bring over. Did you register? That's going to be worth giveaway points. Asking meaningful questions, I'm going to tabulate all those points, things like that. And then when you do ! Entries, I want to have that code come through here and like find your row based on your Twitch user ID, go sum up all of these values, and then output that in chat to say Mark H has 346 entries for the giveaway. And then when I'm actually doing a giveaway, then you can say, okay, I want to spend 10 of those points or 100 of those points. You can spend as few or as many as you like. It won't it won't matter. So if you don't want to enter a particular giveaway, you can say, I don't want to enter that giveaway. And that's fine. You don't have to allocate any points. If you have like 10,000 points and you really, really, really want that articulated dragon, you go all in and put all 10,000 of those points on that dragon. You're very, very, very likely to win it. And then once that giveaway is over, like those entries kind of get flushed out. And so you're doing activity in the stream to kind of build up these giveaway entries, and then you'll be spending the giveaway entries based on whatever it is I'm giving away. So usually at the end of the month, we do like a really big giveaway of some kind. There's usually like, second place kind of prize and a third place kind of prize. You'll be able to go in and say, I want to allocate different amounts of giveaway points for any or all or none of those. That'll be your choice. A couple of things that I still need to figure out is if you don't spend any of your giveaway points by the end of the month, because I do want to come through this database and I want to wipe everything out of this database, I want to carry over any of your giveaway entries for next time. Because if you're hanging out in stream, I don't want you to feel like, I'm accruing all these points and they go away at the end of the month if I don't use them. I hope you'll use them. I mean, that's kind of the idea, is that you're going to come in and chat and hang out and actually use those points. But that's the kind of stuff that I want to kind of work through and finish some of the coding. So as of last night, we've got the question thing working. So you can ask questions. They'll show up in the questions queue like this, and then I can go through and I can answer them and assign them points and so on. And then I've got the links working. These should also show up with a link ID and the URL and how many points I assign. And I'll be going through probably, on the weekends and kind of clicking through and looking through those URLs and looking at the quality of them. Like, are you just retweeting me? If you're retweeting me, that's fine. It's maybe worth a point. But if you're writing your own original tweet or LinkedIn post, because those are the two platforms that we're going to watch for, and if people are engaging with those posts, like people like them or other people retweet what you post about either the fundraiser or the live stream and the career coaching and the newsletters and things like that, if people are engaging with your posts, then I will assign extra points to those as well. And then those will all be worth giveaway entries for you. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is like how can we kind of like build up more of the community and help all of you out as well. So when you come and chat and you do bang link and you give us that Twitter or LinkedIn post link, we'll all be able to see it, and then we can all go and we can all like it and we can all follow you and things like that, because I want to like build up our own community as well and help each other out and follow each other and stuff like that. So that's kind of the stuff that I'm thinking about tracking. So as far as agenda for tonight, the kind of stuff that I want to work on, I've actually got a work meeting in about 2 hours. So I got about 2 hours to like work on some code, and then I got to go do a meeting for like an hour and a half or so. So that's kind of my maximum time for that. So I'm thinking of a way to reward active community members in several ways. Yeah, exactly. And reward you by giving you like giveaway entries for the stuff that I'm giving away on stream. We're going to have like Lego kits. I've seen some inexpensive 3D printers that, if we get enough people like registering and like being really active about it, I'll consider like giving away a 3D printer or something like that. I'm not sponsored with, the filament giveaways and things like that, so don't come in expecting filament giveaways, but like stuff I airbrush, things like that. The other thing that I'm thinking is for the recurring, like the sort of the daily giveaways that I do, like where you come by and do bang giveaway, those giveaways will probably be like a coupon code for the website. So if you do bang catalog, you'll see the e-commerce shop where I do all the laser engraving and the 3D printing and stuff like that. And you'll get a coupon code for some amount of money, probably like 10 or 15 bucks that you can go sort of spend. And it's basically like I'll go laser engrave some things and ship it to you for free, basically. But you'll go to the website and you'll pick what you want or tell me how you want to customize it, and then I'll produce those and send them out. Or if it's the articulated dragon, then you just tell me that you want an articulated dragon, what color you want, and then we'll figure that kind of stuff out. So thanks, Triclaw. I appreciate that. I've had a lot of fun airbrushing. Airbrushing this big giant dragon is going to take a long time. It may not take that long of a time. It's going to use a lot of paint to airbrush this big giant dragon. I'm gonna have to put like a base coat, probably like a rattle can base coat of primer on it though, because doing the size, like doing that big giant dragon with airbrush primer is going to take a really, really long time. So the other thing is I had some feedback about my chatbot being a little too chatty in chat. So that's another thing that I kind of want to add to my agenda here. So if I pop up the agenda, come on agenda, there we go. I want to I want to quieten down my chatbot. So one of the ideas that I had was to mimic a little bit of what Stream Elements chatbot does, where when you set up a recurring thing like follows are free, or whatever, like you'll see things show up over here, like the recurring shoutouts that I do for people. Like there was just one for Subsector and like, hey, go check out my free newsletters and so on. Is I want to put a timer on those. Well, they're already on a timer. But what I want to do is I want to say, like, don't put that message in chat unless there have been a certain quantity of non-bot messages showing up in chat. So I wanted to kind of keep track of like how many things are being posted by, stream stickers and the Pokemon game and things like that, and not count those. But, Mark H has posted messages, Zooey has posted messages, Triclaw has posted messages to basically say, like, I don't want my bot to start spewing a bunch of stuff in chat unless you're all in there talking. Now, if the stream is offline, then I do want that recurring thing to happen like every couple of minutes. Just that way, anybody that comes by, they know that the chatbot is active and that they can ask questions anonymously and things like that. But while we're live, I don't want my chatbot getting too spammy over there and like just spewing like tons and tons of stuff and like filling up the whole screen with all of these automated messages. So that's definitely something I want to work on as part of this thing tonight. Might gauge the level of current chat, have the chatbot talk at roughly the same rate. Maybe not quite the same rate, but I do want to kind of prioritize like what's the next kind of message that I want to send out, because I don't want it to always be like, okay, I have a recurring shout out and I want to remind people about the newsletters and I want to remind people to register for the giveaways and I want to remind people of blah, 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 blah. I don't want like 5 messages to go out every 5 minutes, because then the chat just fills up with like chatbot. But if I rotate through those like every, say, 2 minutes and just pick one of those on a rotation, as long as other people are chatting, then it'll dump that one in. If not, it'll hang on to it and it'll wait for the next 2-minute cycle or something like that. Because right now the way the chatbot works is I can put it on a timer. Like all of these things are set on timers, but they're all set as individual commands with all individual timers. And I want to like roll that into like one kind of command for like make an announcement. So every minute I want it to kind of see how many things have non-bots been saying in chat, and if it's over a threshold, then go rotate through, these announcements or whatever that I want to make. So that's kind of that's like one of the big things that I want to work on. And then these are like some of the other things that I have on my to-do list for the giveaway that's going to start on July 2nd. So I've got 10 days to go, less than 10 days. It's the 22nd. I got like 8 days to get this done and tested. So yeah. So I'm gonna be working on some of that code tonight. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves. If you got questions, absolutely ask questions at any time. But otherwise, I'm gonna be working through some of this stuff. I'm also happy to take feedback and ideas on like how many giveaway points should these things be worth. Like if you're submitting a resume for review, is that worth 5 giveaway entries, 50 giveaway entries? Like I want to figure that out. Actually, while we're here, do me a favor in chat, tell me how many channel points you have in chat. So down at the very bottom left, underneath where you type in your chat message, you should see how many chat points you have or how many channel points you have. I'm kind of curious how many channel points people actually have, because I'm also trying to figure out like what's a good ratio to translate those channel points into giveaway entries as well. Right now, I think I set up the reward for redeeming 10,000 channel points for 10 giveaway entries. But I want that to kind of be on par with like if you give me a resume, is that worth 25 entries? Is it worth 100 entries? Like, what would those kinds of things be worth? So Zooey's got about 20K, 25K, somewhere in there. I would have expected those to be a lot bigger. 5K on Triclaw. Like, I think RC Maniac's got like quite a few. I usually have my chatbot kind of like lurking in the background. Let me go pull those up and see how many we got. Like, my chatbot has 75,000 chat points. So like that's the other kind of thing that I'm a little bit curious about, is like how, like, what do you think a good redemption is there? Should I do 5,000 points, 10,000 points? I don't want it to be like every time you get 1,000 points, you can like redeem it for a giveaway. Like, I want you to do them in batches or something like that, but I'm happy to take feedback. But like, there's an example of like 3 chatbot things that all went out at the same time because all of their timers happened to hit at the same minute. So I definitely want to go through and I want to make like just an announcements thing. So like way down here at the bottom, this is where I'm doing all of these like recurring kind of things. Like, be sure to check the schedule. Is this channel helpful? If you're enjoying it, blah, blah, blah. If you're in the tech industry. So this one kind of rotates through several messages, but this is one command that runs every 10 minutes. This is another routine this is kind of the recurring shout out that I do, where it's rotating through like friends of the channel, subscribers of the channel, just other channels that I watch who are makers or into 3D printing or into programming. And it's just doing kind of a regular sort of shout out kind of thing. So they get shouted out even if I'm not online. That one runs every 5 minutes. Unless I'm offline, then it runs every 10. Because again, I don't want this thing to be like totally spammy, but RC, how's it going? Hey, RC Maniac, how many channel points have you got here on this stream? I think you should write out a list of what you want to give points to, and then figure out 1 to 5 points first. Okay. Then adjust the list by pointing what is most points at top. Okay. Okay, that's a good idea. RC Maniac's only got 85K. I would have expected you to be way over 100K. All right. So yeah, Zooey, that's a good idea. So what do I want to give points to? So a resume for review. I want to give points to that. I want to give points for watch time. And this is something that Streamer.bot can do. So Streamer.bot is like actively polling who's watching the channel right now. And I can have a command in Streamer.bot that says, every 10 minutes, go run this command for everybody. And that could be like an API call or a webhook or something that says, this following list of users have been watching for 10 minutes. And I can say, go give all those people 1 giveaway entry. So you automatically get a giveaway entry just for watching every 10 minutes or something like that. And so I want to be able to track like how many minutes you watch and give you giveaway entries based on just watching the stream. So you don't even have to manually say, I'm entering so many times. I want to give you those giveaway points just for watching the stream. If you're engaging, then that's even better. So watch time, I want to give some minimal amount of points. Asking questions, and then sharing links to like for Twitter and LinkedIn. Registering for the giveaway. And again, the registration, as soon as that month is over, I'm wiping that table. Like as soon as I ship everything to everybody, I wipe that table. I don't want to hang on to your name and address information. So every time I do a month-long giveaway, you're gonna have to re-register. I don't want to have to hang on to that data. So I know some streamers do, but I don't. I don't want to be a target about that. Donating to the cause, I'm a little bit torn on that one, Zooey, to be honest, because not everybody has the means to donate. Some people have the means to donate a lot, and I don't want to necessarily sort of stuff the ballot box by saying like, oh, every dollar you donate is worth 5 entry tickets or something like that, because someone comes in and drops $100. Well, there's 500 giveaway entries, and now they're guaranteed to win that thing. I've felt guilty of doing that on other streams where I've gone in and donated for like, cancer research or St. Jude's Hospital or whatever. And I have no problem going in and dropping like $100, $200, $300 from time to time because I get the tax write-off for that. But then they're like, okay, well, now we're doing this giveaway, for every $5 you get like so many giveaway entries. And it's like, well, shoot, if I donate $500, that's 100 entries, where someone else that only donates $5, they get one entry. Now, you see this big pie graph spinning wheel, and I've got like this giant wedge on the wheel. And so I've actually asked a couple of streamers, like, hey, when I donate, like, just don't put me on that wheel. Like, I would rather not do that and make it more fun for everybody else. Because if you show up and I've got like 80% of that cheese wheel and the rest of it's like a tiny little sliver of everybody else, then it doesn't make it very fun for everybody else. So I don't want people to come in and feel like they're buying the giveaway by donating. So I like the idea of it. I may do something where it's like, if you do a donation, I will give you 5 entries regardless of the amount of the donation. Because it's, I'm hoping that might be enough deterrent for people coming in and say, well, I'm just going to donate $5 100 times. Well, you're not going to go through that process 100 times. Like, you're going to go through it like 5 times and go, nah, that's enough. Right? So I would rather do it by the number of times you donate as opposed to the amount that you donate. You get air on raffle giveaway laws. I mean, that is kind of... that is erring on the cautious side of that, because there are laws, basically. Like, you can't do a giveaway, you can't call it a giveaway if people are paying to get entries. Like, watching the stream doesn't cost you anything other than your internet and whatever, but like, you're not paying me to watch this stream right now. But if I said like, oh, subscribing to the channel, you're going to get 100 giveaway entries, that would be kind of this gray area of giveaway laws, because now you're paying for additional entries. Like, you're specifically putting money in my pocket to give you an extra benefit over other people, to kind of skew the odds in your favor. And that kind of stuff's actually illegal. So actually, like, I think even the Twitch terms of service specifically say if you're doing a giveaway, you can't ask people to pay money to enter the giveaway. And I've actually gone on people's channels and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing a giveaway for subscribers only. It's like, that's technically illegal and it's against Twitch's terms of service. So you actually can't ask like, you can't favor subscribers or bit donations and things like that. You have to be able to enter it for free. So I don't want to get into this whole thing of like, where people who can afford like suddenly get this drastic jump ahead in giveaway entries and things like that. RC says it should just be based on watch time. I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to do with the Streamer.bot. So that just being here and watching, you're kind of accruing those points. That's kind of what Amish Ace does. And then you can say, I want to redeem, I've got so many points, I want to redeem those for giveaway tickets. But his thing is it's a one and done. So you can redeem all of these channel points up to 1,000 giveaway tickets, and anything above that just gets discarded anyway, because he resets everything to 0 as soon as he finishes his giveaway. So any leftover points that you have go away. Any entry tickets that you make all go away. And part of the giveaway bot thing that I want to do, I eventually want to move all of this into Streamer.bot, is I want to make this to where the streamer doesn't have to necessarily go back and reset everybody every time. Because maybe I want to watch periodically and I want to save up those entries for next time. Like, I still want to set a maximum limit. Like, you can't put like 100,000 entries into something and like guarantee you're going to win, because that kind of ruins it for everybody. Let's say, for whatever the giveaway is, you can enter a maximum of 2,000 tickets or something like that. And if you have 10,000 tickets, that's great, but you can only put 2,000 of them into the giveaway or something like that. So I still want to be able to set those limits. So that's part of like moving this over to Streamer.bot at some point anyway. So registering for the giveaway, I want to give points to that. What else did I have? I'm trying to think of what else I had in Airtable. So resumes for reviews, watch time, those are going to be the two like main ones. Asking thoughtful questions, sharing good links, registering for the giveaway. That's more a convenience thing, so that if you do get chosen for a giveaway, I don't have to bug you to go fill out a form. I know I've already got that information, because it's not even going to draw your name unless you're registered. So like that would be a thing where if you try to enter the giveaway, that was one of the things I had on the agenda, that if you try to do like exclamation point entries, I want the code to go figure out whether you've even registered or not. And if not, it's going to say, hey, do bang register, so that you get the form to go fill out so you can actually go register. When someone can get more stuff by spending bits, gifting subs, donating, you can get banned. Yeah, and I don't want to get into that. Have a cutoff for how many points they can get per donation. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, like after 2 or 3 donations. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too. That's a good one, Zooey. The other thing too is I know that I can watch those kinds of things in Streamer.bot, but the Twitch bot that I have can't watch for donations. That's a different kind of event, and I don't subscribe to those events. So I don't think I would be able to get the donations in my current iteration anyway. I would have to like physically see something happen, and then I would have to go over to the browser and I would have to like manually give you points for donating or something like that. But once I move all this stuff over to Streamer.bot, then Streamer.bot can watch all of those events happen. Yeah, RC, that'd be helpful. Thanks. So we talked about like donating, like number of times you donate. But I want this to only be like 1 point or something. I don't know, 1 point to 5 points or something per donation, max of 3 donations or something. Not even per day, just 3 donations total. Registering, again, this is just a convenience factor for all of you that, especially for things where it's like you don't have to be present in chat. Like when we gave away the airbrushed dragon that RC Maniac won, I told people like you don't have to be in chat. If you win, I'm going to contact you. And RC happened to be in chat when we drew his name. So registering is just kind of a convenience thing, and that'll give you some giveaway things to start. Sharing a link, I don't want this to be like an enormous amount, because some people, again, they're on social platforms more than others. I can already anticipate having people say, well, why aren't you watching Instagram, or why aren't you watching TikTok or whatever? Hey, Whip, good to see you. But I'm thinking if you can register and give me your Twitter handle or give me your LinkedIn handle, then I can see how people are engaging with your content, and then I can give you more giveaway points for that. So like maybe 1 point for the link, and then like plus 1 point for, you know, some amount of engagement. So if people are like engaging with it, you know, like 5+ likes, or 3+ comments or replies or something like that, then I'll give you like additional points or something like that. Like maybe every 5 likes I'll give you a point, every 3 comments I'll give you a point. I don't know. Generally antisocial to begin with. Yeah. A Python wizard. Hey, Polybius. I don't know about a wizard. I'm pretty good at Python. I've been using it for quite a while. The whole chatbot thing that you see kind of running over there right now, like all the iandouglas736 bot, this is all Python. Like many, many, many lines of Python code. This is my whole chatbot thing right here. It's pretty enormous. I'm nervous about it. I have to learn it in 2 weeks. Wait, what? Oh, you're learning Python in 2 weeks? That's pretty cool. I mean, Python is a pretty good high-level language. It does a few things a little bit differently, and it calls things slightly different things. Like if you're used to using a hash map, they call that a dictionary in Python. And they don't call them arrays, they call them lists. Aside from that, it looks and acts very similarly to how you do JavaScript. Together a project with Python, AWS, and React. Cool. Yeah, sounds fun. Libby's been doing C++ Arduino for years, so you're used to that? Yeah. C++ is pretty low level. I've dabbled in C++. I mostly do Python. But if, like, once I start moving all the stuff over to Streamer.bot, like this entire chatbot, I eventually want all of this to live in Streamer.bot. I'm going to have to rewrite all of this in C#, because that's kind of the native language that they've built in. I've actually submitted an idea to Streamer.bot to, like, could you please add, like, a Python interpreter and, like, run Python code? That would be fantastic. Because I think that would allow a lot more sort of freedom, at least for me, to, like, bring all this stuff over. So... yeah, if only I knew somebody who knew C#. Hey, Subsector, good to see you. Hope your stream went well. So yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. So submitting a resume for review, like I want this to be like a decent amount of giveaway points. Not like horrendously so. Like I want to kind of cap it out at like 25 points or something. And you get like one review for the month or something, once per month. So if I review it and then you like resubmit it for a re-review and you're like, hey, I made some changes, can you look at it again? I'm not going to give you another 25 points. Like that'll be like one time. And mostly I want to do that just so I've got extra content that I can like do resume reviews with things. But I also kind of want to like keep track of like, is RC Maniac giving me a resume every time I do a monthly giveaway just to get those extra 25 points? Because that's not worth it. So maybe there's like a diminishing return. Like every resume you give me, like the next giveaway, it's worth like 5 points less, to where it's like, if RC Maniac is just submitting a resume every time I do a monthly giveaway just to get that boost in points, that after a couple of resumes, it's not worth any points, or it's only worth like 5 points maximum or something. Not to say you would do that, but like that would be the kind of thing that I would want to do. Yeah, some RP 2040s, which use Python. Yeah. So I've got I got a bunch of the Raspberry Pi Picos, and they're fantastic. They run Python really, really well. I made like a little asynchronous API that runs on the Raspberry Pi Pico, and crazy fast. It works really great. So I'm looking forward to doing more of those kinds of projects over time too. So the watch time, like watching the stream, I'll probably do like 1 point every, 15 minutes. Like this is one giveaway entry, considering the fact that I might stream for, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, that could be worth a handful of giveaway entries. Again, the danger here is somebody puts my stream on in the background. They're not actively watching. So I need to double check how Streamer.bot is actually checking that you're actually active. Is Streamer.bot looking for engagement in chat, or just the fact that you're present? That your client is pinging Twitch saying, I'm actively watching Ian's channel, or I have Ian's channel loaded in a browser. Is that all Streamer.bot gets to see? Or does Streamer.bot actually pay attention to like, oh, you're actually chatting, you're actually saying things, you're actually like participating in chat? And I think that's why I had the idea of like watching how many commands you do or how many things you're chatting. Just, not that you're just dropping emojis or emotes, just as a spammy thing, because you can also automate those kinds of things. I don't want to make this something that people can kind of game just to enter a giveaway for a prize, because we get a lot of people coming through. Like, Subsector will know this yourself. Subsector, I'm sure you see this quite a lot, that when you're doing a giveaway, tons of people show up because they want the free stuff. Like, tons of people enter those giveaways. Tons of people just want the free filament or the free printer or the free, whatever we're giving away. And then they leave. As soon as you draw that name, like, the numbers go down. Even if you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a giveaway like 1 hour into my stream, you'll see the traffic really build up to that hour. You do the giveaway, and then all that traffic drops off again because people want to come by just for the free stuff. They don't want to come in and actually hang out for the sake of the stream, right? And so that was part of. Oh, that was another thing that I was going to track is months following. So I want to do something like, 3 points per month or something. So every month that you follow my channel, because I can get those statistics from Twitch, I can say how many months has RC Maniac actually been following my channel. If you unfollow me and refollow, it resets that timer. So I can actually find out statistics on how long have you been following my channel and give you points based on how long you've been a follower. So like Zooey and RC Maniac, y'all have been around forever. So unless you've unfollowed me and refollowed me, you're going to have like it'll be 2 years. In early July, I'll have been streaming for 2 years. You're going to have 24 times 3 entries just because you've been following my channel for a long time. 5 days, 18 hours watching. Yeah. I mean, that's just the watch time, but like, I don't have a follow time command. I don't know if that's something that's built into Twitch. Does that actually show up? No, I don't think it does. But like, I can look that stuff up. Like when I go so every time somebody chats in chat, like every time somebody says something, I'm potentially going and looking up your account on Twitch just to get like your Twitch user ID, your username, and things like that. And one of the things I can get is like, are you a subscriber? Are you a VIP? One of the things that I'd written in my chatbot, some of you may remember, the very first time you would say hi in chat, it would be like, hey, go check out my VIP, RC Maniac, because it would look at that VIP flag and like give you a special shout out. It's like, hey, Zooey showed up. So I had that running for a little while, and I just shut it off because it wasn't working very well. Or like every hour or something, it reset. Like I was trying to keep track of that stuff in Redis in a cache, and it was like resetting. So, you've been following for like 5 minutes. That's not my fault. I've been here for 2 years. Where you been? But again, I want to and I did this for a giveaway. I think at the end of last year. I think last October's giveaway. I think I did something similar where it's like every month that you were a follower, I gave you like a certain number of giveaway points or something like that, just as a way of saying thank you for being a follower and being around a long time. Oh, I do have a follow thing on there. It just took a minute to kick in. 1 year, 6 months, 12 days, 21 hours. Nice. Zooey for 1 year and 8 months. Wow, Zooey's been following me longer than RC. RC must have like reset at some point. Because RC, I'm pretty sure you've been around almost since the very, very beginning. Follow age versus follow time. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Anyway, so the date that I can get from Twitch is the actual timestamp of when you started following my channel. And so I want to do some amount of points based on that. So as soon as you register, I want to go look up that detail and immediately give you some points for, if you're a follower. If you're not a follower, then you're not going to get any of those points. Because you'll also get people come by and say like, if I turn on follower only chat, for example, It's like, okay, well, I have to follow your channel to even say something in chat, to even enter your giveaway, which I think I had for a little while. But then as soon as that giveaway is over, you start losing followers because people only come for the free stuff and they have to follow in order to enter the giveaway. And if they don't win the giveaway, then they end up leaving if they don't find value in your channel. And it's like, those aren't the people I want to reward. I want to reward the people that are like hanging around longer, you know? So that was something I did last year, and I was actually pretty happy with the result of that. Hey, Mighty Bean. Just more menacingly. That's all right though, Mighty Bean. Not a fan of followers only. Yeah, I don't like the subscriber only chat. Verified accounts though I'm okay with. Because that keeps the spam bots away. Most of the people that are hanging out on Twitch, they've been around long enough. I forget if I had follower. Do I have follower chat on right now? I don't think I do. I had it on for a while because you had to follow me in order to do the giveaway. And so I think I had follower only chat, so you had to follow in order to enter the giveaway. And again, part of that was just, you know, can I keep you as a follower, or are you going to unfollow me as soon as you don't win the giveaway? So these are things that I've got kind of bouncing through my mind. Like when I'm rebuilding this giveaway bot, like I want to keep that kind of stuff in mind. Like I don't want people coming by just for the freebie. Like they're just doing a drive-by, you know, they're coming by for the freebie and then they leave and then, you know, they're not following your channel anymore. You had a whole bunch of bots do it and then you had to turn it back on. Actually, I haven't had too many like automated bots come by my channel. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. Making it so they can't enter a giveaway unless they followed for a set amount of time. Yeah, I think when I did that last year, people who started following like that month basically didn't get any additional entries. Or if you entered the giveaway, I think it gave you like one entry, but everybody else that entered the giveaway, it looked at how long you were a follower and it gave you like some multiplier of that many entries. And I was really transparent about it when I did that. I'm like, I'm doing this on purpose. And it was the first and only time that I've actually biased a giveaway in favor of anybody. Because usually it's like, yeah, jump in the pool and I'm going to randomly pick out of that pool. And that's how I intend to do the daily giveaways. Like you can come by, you can do bang giveaway and I'll like randomly draw. But for the big prize giveaways, like if I'm gonna invest money in a 3D printer or invest money in, you know, like a really nice handcrafted sign or something like I did for Jay Brinker, or you know, I'm gonna custom airbrush, you know, something really big and enormous. I've got a really cool design I'll show everybody that I'm thinking about doing as one of the giveaways for July, and doing some airbrushing and painting work. If I'm gonna go through that level of effort, then I want to make sure it's going to somebody that's been around the channel for a while, that is part of our community, and not just a random person coming by and, you know, they win something. People always complain about my preference on verified account. You can specify if you want verified email or verified phone. I don't want my phone number on Twitch. Okay. If they use it as a kludge in the name of safety and security. I got you. Yeah. I like it from the security point of view. Like, you know that that's been vetted, you know, that it's not a guarantee, but it's way less likely to be a bot if they've got some kind of verification on the account, either a verified email or a verified phone number. Like I have my phone number verified with Twitch, and then I've got I've got the iandouglas736 bot, I've got my work account, I think I've got one other account that I was using as a test account, and I've got all of them using the same phone number. Because that one's already been verified, you know, with the text messaging and whatever. And so if people are like, you need a verified account, I already know that all of those accounts are already verified and ready to go. You can 100% automate verification. Yeah, I know. Verify email and phone doesn't stop bots. It's less likely to end up with bot. Like I said, it's not a guarantee of keeping the bots away, but the lazy bot writers will stay away. I mean, if somebody if somebody wants to like spam your channel that badly, they're going to find a way to do it. But I absolutely disagree with subscriber only, because if you're going to come in and like do these, you know, giveaway commands, but only subscribers can do it, then I'm effectively making my giveaway for subscribers only, which is illegal, because you have to pay to be a subscriber, whether you're doing Prime or being gifted a sub or something. Like, somebody is paying for that privilege for you to enter that giveaway, and that's where it becomes illegal. So I don't anticipate a time ever when I'm going to set my channel to subscriber only. At most, I would make it follower. But yeah, I hear where you're coming from, RC. So yeah, I want to do this, but I want to say like 1 point if followed in the past month. Otherwise, three points per month or something like that. Gotta make dinner? Yeah, no worries. Cool, yeah, and safe travels to anybody going to Murph this weekend. I know a lot of people are already starting to travel, so stay safe, stay warm, stay dry, all that kind of stuff. Hey, Klondike, good to see you. Subsector, you still hanging out in chat? I think I still see you in chat. I started supersizing a print. So I downloaded this model a while back, or I bought this model a while back. Hey, Klondike, good to see you. Yeah, thanks for being here. So I bought this model a while back, and this is the 100% scale of this dragon. This is the size of the one that I did in resin, and we airbrushed to look like smog. If you go check out my Instagram account, this is the 100% scale of that. And then I decided I was going to supersize it. So this is the size of the head and the neck and the wing. And that's 100% scale. And then I printed it at 220% scale, which is a little bit larger. So let me pull way back here so you can kind of see the difference in size. So this is 100% scale, and this is 220% scale. So I'm gonna be airbrushing this. This is one of my July projects, is to paint this, and it's it's ridiculously enormous. Let me show you the whole thing. So on the head of the dragon, you get these little spikes, these little horns that go in the back of the skull, and you can and they're curved, so you can make them like face into the neck, away from the neck. You can have them pointing up, point them down. That's the 100% scale horn. This is the 220% scale horn. Size difference between those two things. But yeah, let me get the whole dragon here. Here's the 220% scale dragon. It's about 28 inches long from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. It's about 28 inches long. The wingspan is like 20 inches from tip to tip. Back here, it's about 20 inches tip to tip. And it's about 12 to 14 inches tall from the base to the top of the wing, like the highest point on the wing. But yeah, it's pretty enormous. And obviously ran out of filament while I was printing the whole thing. So it's all different colors. I started with a peanut, and I went to like this peach color, ran out of that. I went to a brown, ran out of that, went back to another roll of peanut that I found, went to a brown, and then ended with a blue. And this is all Polyterra, so it's kind of lightweight. It's not like super strong, but it's ridiculously big. So Westry, this thing is bigger than Mia. So I was showing people the size of the wings. So this is 100% scale wing versus the 220% scale wing that we got going on over here. So ridiculously huge. So I also printed it at 160% scale, just for the heck of it. So I've got the 100% scale head, the 160% scale head, and then the 220% scale head. So these are going to be fun to airbrush. So these were in a sparkly filament, so I'm not sure how well these are actually going to airbrush, because it's kind of a shiny filament where the polyterra is kind of a dull matte finish, and this stuff takes paint really, really nicely. Don't hardly have to sand the polyterra stuff at all. There are a few little wisps and things like that I'm going to have to blast with a heat gun. But this thing's going to be pretty nice, a lot of fun to airbrush. This is going to be one of my July projects. But I've got the 100% Dragon and the 160% Dragon, and I'm going to have those up on the cool3dthings.com website. If anybody wants one of these, I'm commercially licensed to sell these, and I'm pretty much just doing it for the cost of the filament. So if anybody's interested in a Dragon model, let me know. And we can talk about filament color choice. So, but yeah, it's enormous and gigantic. Like I was showing just the size of the horn. Like that's the horn that goes in the back of the head versus, like this horn versus the whole neck and head of the 100% scale Dragon. Like this is the horn that goes in the back of the Dragon's head on the large size model, and it's almost as big as the neck and the head itself of the 100% scale. So it's pretty wild. It's going to be a lot of fun to paint. So that's going to be a July project. But yeah, otherwise, just kind of planning out like what we're doing for the giveaway bot. I've got about a week left to finish some of the software. I've got a work meeting in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to have to wrap up within an hour and 15 minutes or so. But I figured I'd dive in and do a little bit of coding. But we were trying to figure out some of the point values to assign to behavior and engagement and things like that as you're hanging out in chat. So 200% looks pretty good. I would have expected distortion. Yeah, I mean, the model itself is really, really nice. And there are a few areas where printing it at 100% scale, like the spikes on the back of the neck, at 100% scale prints just fine because the nozzle's only going out a tiny bit. So like the overhangs, you don't really see the overhangs on this size. But when it's 220%, the nozzle's going out a lot farther. And so some of the horn, like some of the spikes on the back of the neck, they droop a tiny bit. And there are a couple of spots like on the back of the head, because the head prints upright like this on the bed. There are a few spikes along the back of the head here that kind of drooped and whatever. I'm going to have to go in and like sand those out and do a little bit of filler and stuff before I get in priming. But yeah, it turned out pretty nice. I mean, for the amount of filament I used, is pretty ridiculous. I've got a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet printing right now for GBAV out in San Diego. That one's being printed in a Cos PLA from Polymaker. That one's going to take some sanding because I'm having it print a little bit faster. It's for his girlfriend who he says doesn't care as much about Star Wars, and it's just going to sit on a shelf anyway. So I'm printing it kind of fast. I'll sand it and do some fill and whatever, but his I'm going to print a lot slower, so it comes out like really nice quality because he's going to wear it on his stream. So I want it to look really, really nice. So that'll be printing next. Other than that, I've got like a whole bunch of Daredevil cowls that I've been working on. This one was done in a PETG and sanded. Oh, I guess I got to take the glasses off too. So this one came out pretty nice. I wish I could like wear my glasses over top of it. There we go. Dad Devil. All right. I'm gonna break my glasses if I do that, but I can't see. Can't see without. Well, I can kind of see. But yeah, so I wanna like finish sanding this. This one needs a little bit of fill, and then I'm gonna start priming this one. Also a July project. So I've got a handful of things I want to do in July on the streams. I've also got Dr. Doom. I've got a handful of the Daredevil masks, partly just to practice and things like that. And then the Mandalorian helmet that I'm doing for GBAV and the Bo-Katan Kryze helmet that I'm doing for his girlfriend. I'm going to be priming those and painting those and sending them off and doing the accessories and stuff. I decided to jump on the bandwagon and try a HueForge print, so that's printing on one of the bamboos right now. It's going to take a couple of hours because I decided to print it really, really slow as well. So I put a smaller nozzle on there, and it's printing at 50% speed. It's going to take a couple more hours to finish. So, but yeah, good times. So yeah, happy travels and safe travels to everybody that's going to Murph. So let's head back over to this screen. So this is kind of how I'm thinking about like sort of rewarding activity and engagement on the stream. Some of it's going to happen in Streamer.bot. Some of it's going to happen in my chatbot. But everyone's going to have to like register for the giveaway, and then I can start tracking some of this stuff. A couple of things I'm still a little iffy on. Like I don't know whether the Twitter and LinkedIn engagement stuff, whether that's really going to pay off or if that's just going to get spammy. I don't want it to become a spammy kind of thing, but if it's like, you know, if you post something on Twitter or LinkedIn about the giveaway or about the career advice that I do or something, and it's a meaningful post, I want to be able to give you like giveaway tickets for doing that. And then with the giveaway, when I actually set up the giveaway, then you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to allocate like how many points you want to assign to each giveaway. So if I give away like the 220% dragon and this other design that I'm going to show you here in a minute, well, actually I've got two other designs that I'm debating. One's going to be resin, one's going to be FDM, and they're all dragon themed, just as an FYI. Then you'll be able to say, like, I want to put more points in that one because I really want that one. You know, maybe I don't want that one at all, so I'm not going to put any points in that one. And you'll be able to pick where you kind of assign your giveaway points. So I need to figure that part out in the code as well. So once I get to a point of like, okay, now it's time to actually start a giveaway, then you can sort of allocate, like, these are the points that I want to allocate to this giveaway or that giveaway. So we'll get there. We'll figure that out. Cool. So let me go show you these other designs that I'm thinking of. So Loot Studios, their site is horribly designed. Let me log in. I don't know why they make their font be this freaking enormous, but it is what it is. Oh, why is this so big? Seriously, guys. It's the Proto Dragon. There it is. So this is one of the designs that I bought from their site. This one was actually featured from Elegoo on Twitter. And it is an amazing looking print. It's a lot of pieces. And I would do this one in resin. And it would be fairly large in resin, but it's a really cool picture of a dragon kind of wrapped around a building. The building comes in like several pieces. Just the building itself comes in like, I want to say a dozen pieces or like close to 20 pieces just for the building. The dragon, the wings are all like several pieces per wing. The tail is like several pieces because it wraps all the way around. The body is like several pieces. The head is a big piece. The neck is like a couple of pieces, like the spire and the building or whatever. Like, and then there's the base down here as well. So the whole thing, it's going to take a while to print the whole thing in resin. But I want to airbrush this as one of my July giveaways. So that's one of them. Another one, I forget if it was part of this bundle or a different bundle. It's a different bundle. Oh no, here it is. Dragon Head Trophy. So this is the other one that I'm going to 3D print on FDM. And this one I'm going to print on the big printer. So this going from the tip of the horn to the tip of the nose is going to take up most of that 350 millimeter print bed. So the height of the dragon is going to be probably 10 inches tall from the neck to the snout, like just the thickness of the head. And then the base is like a couple of inches thick. So let me go pull that up over here. I have it pre-sliced and ready to go, but I'll show this off. Bear with me as I pull up a new browser source here, or a new window source. Bo-Katan helmet that I sliced up. Let me pull this one over this way. Get there. Bear with me. I'm still here. You just can't see me. All right. Let's go back over to that window. Pull up recent. Just to show you the size of this thing. So this print bed is 350 millimeters by 350 millimeters. So just the base of the thing alone is going to take up most of the space of the printer. And this is at 100% scale. So this isn't even like sized up. This is 100% their model. And then the head, I basically had to put diagonally on the bed in order to print. And it's going to be, how big? Go to the scale. 165 millimeters tall. So it's going to be, it's about 6.5 inches from the bottom of the neck to the tip of the snout. So 6.5 inches. So if I go back over to this screen, so from the neck to the snout is going to be a little bit longer than this 6-inch ruler. It'll be a tiny bit taller than that. So putting this thing on the wall, it's got like a little hole mount on the back that you can actually like hang it on the wall. It's probably going to come out from the wall like 8 inches or so, because the base was like an inch or two thick, and then you've got the dragon on top of that. So mounting the whole thing on the wall is going to be probably 8 inches, like coming out from the wall, and then the horns go all the way back to the wall. It's going to be a pretty neat. It's going to be a pretty neat piece. So those are the three very ambitious projects I'm going to attempt to print and airbrush in the month of July. So once GBAV's helmet is finished, I'm going to start printing the big giant plaque dragon trophy head. In the meantime, I'm going to be starting on the resin printer back here on that other dragon that's like wrapping around the building. And then people are going to decide where they want to put their entries. If nobody wants, the big giant plaque, that's fine. Nobody wants the big giant dragon, that's okay too. If everybody wants, the resin one, that's fine too. So you'll be able to spend your giveaway points however you like. That'll be your choice. I'll probably also have like Lego kits and things like that as we do. And depending on how many registrations we get, how many people are like actively participating, like I said, I might do like a low-end 3D printer for people that want to get into 3D printing. I'm not gonna try to justify like, oh, this is only for people that don't do any 3D printing. But if you already do 3D printing and this is like a $200 3D printer, you may or may not want it in your arsenal anyway, because it's going to be, I'm probably going to go for like an Anycubic Cobra style printer. It's very beginner friendly. And if that's not your style, then don't enter the giveaway. You'll be able to spend those giveaway points on literally anything else. Thanks for coming by, Zooey. Sorry I missed your goodbye message a minute ago. So yeah, so I got like an hour. So I do want to get to a little bit of the coding here. So let me shut off Marcus Slicer. Shut the browser. Back to my code. And then go back over here to my code. So there's a handful of things that I need to go build. I've got the question and answer thing done. I've got the link tracker done. What else did I have on here? So I want to modify Bang entries and have it determine whether or not you've already registered or not. So I think I'm going to go build that part, because unless you're registered, it can't track all of your points, and you won't have any entries until you actually register. It's actually just to verify. Yeah, so there's the form that you can go fill out if you want to pre-register. You're welcome to. If you don't want to register on purpose, that's fine. When we get around to testing the entries command, it'll tell you if you're not registered. So let's go figure that out. So I've got an entries command. That's my entries command. There it is. All right. So this is one I'm currently using to determine, have you entered the giveaway for today or not? Or how many total entries have you got? But I want to change this up because we're not going to be using that giveaways table anymore. We're going to be using a different table. So this line of code is basically saying, like, who's the streamer? Right now, I'm the only one using this bot, so I could just hard code it and tell it to be my own channel, but I'm still looking that up anyway. And then I do a who is on the user, and that gives me things like your Twitch user ID, whether you're a follower, how long you've been following me, things like that. And so this is where I want to determine whether or not you've already registered. So instead of looking you up in the giveaways table, I've already got these things. So we're going to have the tracking table here. I'm pretty sure I'm already building that tracking though. Aren't I? Yeah, I've already got connections to the database for that, so I don't need that. But here I can do my get right away. So this is where I want to go look at the register table. If that's what I called it. Is that what I called it? Registration. So I need to go look at the registration table. I really need to set up some buttons on my Stream Deck to, like, turn the browser on and off and go back to my code editor. All right, so I need to go back to my registration table, and I need to do a lookup based on the Twitch user ID is equal to your user ID and how many records there are. And then this is going to tell me, are you registered or not, basically. So if I look at the length of this, so records comes back as a list. And so I can say, if the length of registered is 0, then you are not registered. So you are not registered for giveaways. Please type, please use Bang register to register. I love Google or GitHub Copilot. This is great. I barely even have to write this code anymore. Otherwise, you are registered. And so now I need to go look up how many entries you have. So for that, I've got another whole table called entries, also based on your Twitch user ID. And I can just go sum up all these other fields that I've got in here. So I've got bonus entries, Twitch points, newsletter points, and so on. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to track in here as well. So we come back over to here. One of the other things that I wanted to track for points, asking questions. So this will be like 1 to 3 points. But subscribing to the newsletter. So what I wanted to do here is give you 5 points for registering, for subscribing per newsletter. And then at the end of the month, figure out what was the maximum newsletter message that you got, and then give you points for those. Word. extra points based on like the newsletter number for each of those. Because there's enough content, I think, in each of the 3 newsletters to basically take you through the month. I think one of them's a little bit shorter than 31 days worth of content, though, if you get them daily. So I'm going to have to figure that one out, I think. Okay, so let's go look at the entries then. So based on the entries then, I want to go figure out... So AT tracking .get from the entries table. I just want to filter based on that. And you should only have a single entry in there. Do I need to add you to that table? I might need to add you to that table if you're not already there. So if you're not already there, I want to add you to that table. So I'm going to do AT tracking.create entries. And we're going to do that based on your user ID. And the user is coming from your Twitch ID. Yes, that's right. Which means I need to know your Twitch user. Oops. That's right. I forgot that I made this entry, this method. So we'll do entries here. This is going to go into the entries table. I forgot that I already made this method to do a lot of this work for me. Okay, so then your sum total is going to start at 0. And now I have to actually look for the different fields, because if I don't assign any points in a given field, that field doesn't even show up in the payload of data that comes back from Airtable. And so I have to go in and explicitly specify the fields that I want to look for. So the fields that I'm going to look for, I'm going to do as an array of strings. Shut up, it already found all those for me. GitHub, you're a little creepy sometimes. I'm not going to lie. All right, so we had registration points, question points, thanks points, thanked points. I'll talk about the thanking stuff here in a minute. Resume points, raid points, newsletter points, Twitch points, and bonus entries. Yep, that's everything I'm tracking. All right. So then I want to basically loop through that, and if that field is in there, I want to add that value. And then say you have sum of entries for the monthly giveaway. Actually, this will be like giveaway points. Giveaway points to spend on giveaways. So in theory, that should work. That user. User's my work account. Okay. So let me reboot my chatbot. Make sure I don't have any syntax errors here. Okay, so that came back up. So now over here, if I do exclamation point entries, I am not registered for giveaways. Please type register to register. All right. So let me go fill that out for my Postmonad account. Let's do register. Let me go fill out that form real quick. Postmonad. A lot of the fields are optional other than the mailing address. It's 23 Main Street. This database will be completely erased after all giveaway items are shipped. All right, so if I close that window, come back over to the registration table, I see everything is there now. The problem is, I'm looking at the registration table based on your Twitch user ID. I need to actually do this based on your Twitch username. Because I don't have an entry for you in this table yet. So I need to base this based on your Twitch username. So Twitch username is equal to your username. What I'm curious about here is whether this is going to be case sensitive and whether it's going to find me based on case sensitivity, because that could be a problem. Oops. Mercy. I have to leave again? Yeah, no worries. People can change usernames. Yeah, I know. That's why I want to link this to their Twitch user ID, and then all of the other tables are based on their Twitch user ID. But yeah, you're right. So I need to basically try to look you up by your username, and if there's no match, then I'll try to look you up by your user ID, and if there's still no match, then you're not registered. So yeah, good point. So I'm gonna have to do that. Registered by name, registered by user ID. The length of registered by name is 0, and the length registered by user ID is 0. So I can't find you in there at all. If I can find you by your username, then I need to assign your user ID. So if the length of registered by name, registered by name. So if that's greater than 0, then I did find an entry for you. And now I need to update that row. So then I want to do registered by name is that one, and I want to update registered by name dot update. I want to set your Twitch user ID. Twitch user ID to be your user ID. Yep. And then Twitch is going to be set to an array based on your user ID. And that should go look you up in the other table and do that join. And now that I know I've got you there, Twitch underscore user ID, that one's gonna have to be a string. All right. So if that works out okay, then we should be good. Otherwise, I don't think I need to build that entry for you anymore. Because as soon as you type bang register, I'm already tracking information about you in that Twitch table. So we should be good to go there. What I'm curious about is whether this is going to find me based on case sensitivity on the name. Syntax error in the code. The bot is not restarting. spell it right. Reboot. So now if I do entries, will it actually find me? Nope, that threw an error. All right, so it does not have a field called username. Oh, the who is that I do doesn't come back as username. This will be like display name dot lower. Like I said, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to tell Airtable to do a case insensitive match. I don't know if it's gonna do a case insensitive match or not. So it did not find me based on that. If I set this all to lowercase, iandouglas736, do bang entries, does that find me? Still says I'm not registered, so it's not finding me that way either. Well, that's a problem. Account doing entries. So it did find me. So it is a case sensitive search. So I need to figure out how do I tell Airtable to do a case insensitive search. So let's go find that out. So this is using Python airtable.py. We need to go find a case insensitive search. So page, filter by formula, string to filter, see filter by formula in the Airtable documentation. All right. So Airtable, filter by formula for case insensitive search. Case for filter by formula. All right, so how do I do that? So I can specify filter by formula, and I just wrap that in a lowercase. So I just wrap the field in a lowercase. And as long as what I'm passing in is also lowercase, then it should work. All right, let's try that. So we'll go back over to our code. So what this is saying is if I wrap this in a lower function, then it should say take whatever my Twitch username is, wrap that in a lowercase function. I'm already lowercasing this. Otherwise, I want this one to be by user ID. So this will be user ID is based on user ID, and I don't need lower on this one. Let's try that. Hey, Westry, thanks for dropping by. Have a safe trip this weekend. Hope you have a good time at Murph. So now I'm going to go change my entry to be not case sensitive match. I do exclamation point entries. All right, it found me. So it found me and it summed it up, but it didn't actually do this update here that I was expecting. So the registered by name, that one failed, which means it did find some entries. But it seems that this one didn't pass. So I need to log this data, I think. All right, so we'll do an await log of that. Do an await log of registered by user ID, and then I can actually see these values coming in. Let me reboot. So what do I get back here? So I have an order dictionary. I have the created time where I have my name, my address is 123 Main Street. So it did find that row. So it found that as a list for the registered by name. So this one worked. This one came back as an empty list because it didn't find a match based on my Twitch user ID. It only found a match based on my username. So I also want to change this up and say if this one is 0. So if this passes, why didn't it get into here? It should have done that update. It should do like a message in here saying like registration, please hold. We should see this pop up in chat. Hey Gatorix, good to see you. Doing a little bit of work on our Python chatbot for the month-long giveaway I do in July. So we're adding some commands and things like that to kind of track whether people have registered for the giveaway ahead of time, or if they have not yet registered for the giveaway. So we're working through like what some of those commands are going to do. I've got about 45 minutes left to stream before I got to do some stuff at work with a team in India. So I've got a bit of a time crunch to get through this. So, all right, so let's try this again. So if I do entries, okay. So I'm finishing your registration, please hold. So we got that message. It should have been coming into here, but that update didn't actually take. Oh, that update didn't take because the first thing I need to give it is the row of what it's updating. Isn't it? Dot update? Yeah, this is wrong. This is why. Oops, no, that's not what I want. Go back. Send my code. Registered by, there we are. This is not what I'm updating. I need to do this on the AT tracking dot update. I need to give it the table of registration, and I need to give it the registered by name row ID, and then pass in the Twitch user ID and the Twitch name. I think that's what I was missing there. But yeah, good to see you, Gatorix. How's the printer building and all that stuff been going? I've been cranking out really big prints over on this side, including this big giant dragon behind me. I can pull it up on camera if you want to see it. But I basically upscaled things like 200+%. I got helmets cranking out right now. I've got a Daredevil cowl that I'm going to be working on, finishing the sanding and doing some priming and stuff like that. We'll get this painted up hopefully in the month of July. I've got a bunch of other like dragon-related things that I want to get painted for the July giveaway, though, including the big monster dragon behind me here. So it'll be fun. I've got a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet printing right now. Just a couple of minutes left. It's got a couple of minutes left on that one, and then I'm going to start a Mandalorian helmet on the printer, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I'm also debating starting an armor kit, like taking some measurements and like building like a Iron Man or Batman or some combination. I actually found an armored Deadpool set of armor that I'm debating doing as well. That looks pretty sweet from Do 3D. I go here, click this one off, and go to Do 3D Armored Deadpool. So this is a This is an armored. It's a Deadpool armor kit basically, and it's all lots of pieces. Like the thigh is a whole piece. The buckles are separate pieces. You basically need to provide your own leather straps to put the whole thing together. So there's, well, the belt is actually printed, which is weird, but all of these straps are not printed because you would want to be able to go in and like adjust the sizes on things. But then there's like kneecaps and the shin guard, and the boot is actually all one piece. It's not like a split boot. Like this boot is all like one flat piece. So it would be really, really hard to walk in. It would be like walking in ski boots, basically. Like you'd be able to hinge your ankle, but you wouldn't be able to actually hinge the bottom of your foot like for natural walking. And it also assumes that you've got this big padded suit here as well. Like this padding here in the elbow is part of like a jumpsuit or like a bodysuit that you'd have to basically provide. So this black part here that you see in between the bicep and the shoulder, this is actually like the black sort of jumpsuit that you'd have to wear underneath. But all of these like mid pieces here, they would have to actually attach onto the shirt in some way. So you'd have to like glue them on or do the fabric printing where you like print a layer on your printer, you pause the print, you put your shirt over that, and then you continue the print and it like prints into the fabric. You'd have to do something like that in order to make this thing actually fit. So I gave some feedback to the designers, like, you know what, there's all these other like, you know, Iron Man and Batman pieces where you've already got like the full torso piece. Like, can you just make this the torso piece and put like all the rib pieces around the sides and all the abdominal parts on the front? Like, this would be a pretty sick set, actually, if I could print this out. But it didn't come with a helmet. It's got everything from the neck down. It comes with the swords, comes with the sheath for the sword, and they're enormous. So I'd have to figure out how to split those up and join them and sand them and, you know, make it look like a continuous piece. Yeah, there's a couple of things about the model that I don't like how I would get these rib pieces stuck onto a piece of cloth to have like a jumpsuit or something underneath it. But that's one ambitious project idea that I have. Another one that I have is the Batman Arkham Knight. I also bought this armor kit from them as well. So, and this one is like full torso kind of thing, like all the pieces go all the way around and they all kind of join and interlock, and then you kind of join the parts on the back yourself. But the weird thing about this one is the whole like leg part, like the legs are all solid sections, so you wouldn't be able to walk at all. Like you'd need to cut the model, you know, from the hip down to the groin in order to actually have like a regular kind of walking motion. So like some of their designers are a little odd with how they're designing their armor kits. But I might print this one just for the cowl and just the neck piece too. So I know a couple of streamers that are really into Batman, like Amish Ace. I might print him a new cowl to wear. We'll see. But yeah, otherwise we're just working through the registration code for the giveaway for July, and trying to figure out like how do we get people registered and so on. I'm actually not doing a giveaway tonight, Chewy. But thanks for trying. Thanks for playing. All right, so if I come back and I made that change, but did I reboot the bot after I made that change? I'm not sure if I did, so I'm going to reboot the bot. Reboot. And then if I come back and do entries, is that going to copy and synchronize those tables? Nope, that one threw an error. So the value is not a valid record ID. So that did not work the way I expected. All right. So that threw an error. Sounds like you won then. Yeah. Maybe. So what line of code didn't work there? So this part didn't work because... Why? Just my name for ID. That value is not a valid record ID. Okay. So this needs to be set to the Twitch user that I look up. So I'm going to have to go look this up here. Please hold. So I'm going to go look up your Twitch user here. This is going to be set to your Twitch user for that row ID. I don't know if that's the one I was complaining about or if it's complaining about this one. It's just telling me the value of a string is not a valid record ID, so that tells me that it was this one that was bad. So I'm hoping that this is going to work for me. Let's try that. Boot. And then trees. So it's doing a case insensitive match now on my username, and it's filling in both of these fields. So now if I come over to the Twitch record, I've got the user linked for my Ian the Postman on it. But I don't see the registration panel entry, which is fine. But that part at least seems to be working in the code. I might need to add an entry in that table maybe for registration maybe? I don't know. All right, so from there it was basically looking at the registration panel, and then from there it was looking at, looking at the wrong screen here. So it finds the registration. In this case, it's finishing the registration, and then it's going over to the entries table, and it's summing up all of these fields to try to figure out how many points I have. In this case, I gave myself 10 bonus entries. Now, in this case, if I'm finishing up the registration, then I need to give myself 10 registration points in that table as well, because we wanted to assign some giveaway points just for registering. So let's go do that in the code. So over here, once this works, then I also want to update the entries table for their Twitch ID. And I want to set their registration points to be equal to 10 points. So let me go unlink that in my registration table. So let me empty that field and empty that field. So that should now give me 10 registration points. So what we should see, let me go over here. What we should see happen is these two fields should populate. I just cleared those out. And then in the entries table for my Twitch user ID, it should give me 10 points in this field. So I'm going to reboot the bot and see what we got going on over there. Daddy Wazzy, good to see you. Yeah, Chewy, this is a lot of fun to build. I love building this kind of stuff. My hope is that eventually I can move all of this stuff into Streamer.bot, and then I can share this more readily with other people who stream that use Streamer.bot, that they'll also have this kind of code that they can use for giveaways. That's my hope. So if I do entries now, we should see this row update if that worked. Nope, it did not work. Unknown field name registration underscore points. Should have worked. Did that not work? Oh, wrong. No, that's the entries table. So the entries table for the Twitch ID, registration underscore points, should be set to 10. It did not like that field name. Field name in the entries table for that Twitch. Okay, so I think I need to go look them up first and then update from there. So let me go get their entries. which I'm kind of doing here already, though. That's fine. I'll just do it again. So I'm going to go look them up based on their entries. I'm going to create the record if it's not already there. And then I want to update that entries ID for registration points. And assign those registration points. And then I'm going to go look up. So once that's finished, then when it comes back down here, it's going to go look up their record again. I may need to do an await here. Because I need that to finish before I can go look this up. Actually, no, it should. This will be synchronous. So it's going to go update their row, assign those 10 points, and then it's going to come back and look up all of the points and sum them all up together. In this case, it should tell me I've got 20 points. I'm not going to Murph. No. I was supposed to be in Indianapolis this weekend for a conference, and so what I was going to do is I was going to fly up a day early, go to Murph for Friday night and part of Saturday, and then drive back to Indianapolis for the conference and do my conference talk Sunday morning and then fly home. But then the conference went remote, and so I had to cancel my flight and hotel, which stuck. So I'm not going. So I'll still be doing the workshop, but I'll be doing it remotely from home instead. So disappointing, but not the end of the world. But I'm hoping I can find a conference near IRF in, I think it's in October, isn't it? End of September, early October. So if I can find a conference out in like Maryland, then I'm going to try to make it over to IRF, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go figure out, did it make... So it linked this row just fine, but it didn't give me the registration points. So I need to empty this so that it'll assign my points over here. End of September, beginning of October? Yeah, okay. So let's see if this will work. Please hold. Hey, there we go. It updated the row. 10 more points. So now it tells me I've got 20 giveaway points. Sweet. So that worked. I love it when it works. All right. So if any of you do Bang Register, and then fill out the form where you give me like your Twitch username, and then there's other details in there if you want to like sort of pre-register for the July giveaway. But basically then if you get picked as a giveaway winner, I've already got your name and your address and stuff like that. I'm selling Bang Register. So yeah, so you do Bang Register, fill out that form. So click on that link, fill out that form, and then if you come back to chat here and do exclamation point entries, actually if you try Bang entries now, it'll probably tell you you're not registered. And it'll tell you to go fill out that form. And then when you fill out that form and you come back and you do Bang entries, it should assign you 10 points just for registering. And now you've got 10 giveaway tickets that you can put into other giveaways. So go give that a shot. Let me know. I will overlay the registration screen in case anybody actually registers real details. I won't dox anybody. So that was the first step. The next one that I want to do is if they put in a newsletter email address, as I'm going through and processing your entries and so on, one of the things that I want to do is see, are you actually subscribed to the newsletter? And if you are subscribed to the newsletter, then I want to give you extra points because you've registered. And then at the end of the month, I want to figure out, or maybe when you get unsubscribed, I'm going to have to figure this out too. If you make it to the last message in the series during the month, that I award you the same number of points as the highest message that you got to in that series as part of the entries as well. So like one of them, I think the behavioral newsletter, I think only has like 19 messages. And so that one, if you register at the beginning of July, you'll finish and unsubscribe before the end of July. Cool. All right. So we're seeing data come in. So I don't want to show the registration thing anymore because I don't want to dox anybody with their email addresses. Although someone got clever with their address, 123 Hope You Don't Lane. Dated at the updated at time is not set to a date time. That's weird. The field. That's weird. Anyway. Right, so now if you do bang entries, cool. So Chewy got 10 giveaway entries. So you finished the registration process and it assigned you those 10 points. Good deal. Cool. And so now the second time you ran it, it recognized that you had already registered. And so it didn't have to go through those extra steps of like finishing your registration. And instead it just goes immediately over to the entries table and starts counting all the points that you have in there. Sweet. All right. So those parts are done. Okay. So these parts are done. I got like 20 minutes. I need to figure out a cron job to go sum up everybody's points. And what I'm going to have to do for that is I'm going to have to go through the registration table. And for everybody that's registered, go look up how many points they should be getting and set that into the entries table. I'm going to have to do that not on a super frequent basis. Like I don't want to do it every minute because it may not finish in a minute because it's going to have to loop through everybody and go count all the things from all the other tables and update the other table and so on. So I might have to make that cron job like every hour. Because typically when I do the big month giveaway kind of thing, I do it after the month is already over. And so at that point, like nothing else will count. So at midnight, or 11:59 p.m. on July 31st, I'll need to set something that says like, don't track any more points after this. And then that way, like any other commands you do and so on, or anything else that you try to do will not assign additional points. And then that cron job will run like one last time, and then all the points are done and everything's ready to go at that point. So then when I do the following stream after that, so July 1st is a Saturday. I typically don't stream on Saturdays. I may stream on that Saturday just to kind of kick off the month. We're going to be having family visit throughout July, so that might throw a bit of a kink in like when I stream, but we'll see. July ends on a Monday. Oh, August 1st, I may be in Toronto. I have a work event August 2nd in Toronto. And I won't be flying home until probably the afternoon of the 3rd. I might have to delay the July like monthly giveaway to like the weekend of the 4th or 5th of August. Because I don't want to stream like right at the end of the day on the 31st on that Monday. But that Tuesday, I'm going to be in Toronto. I might be able to stream from the hotel just to do the giveaway. So I might stream from the hotel. But yeah, I will be international. I don't know. I'll figure something out. You'll be in Victoria, BC. Nice. You live in Victoria, or you're going to be in Victoria on August 1st? And then the other thing is you'll be able to redeem channel points. So I'm curious. Don't try it yet. But I think I've got a channel point redemption. Let me figure that out. Don't do it yet because I don't want you to lose your channel points. because I don't know how to refund those if it doesn't work. Giveaway entries. Yeah, so this is the bonus entries thing that you're doing here. So if you have channel points, if you have 10,000 channel points, you can redeem those for 10 additional entries. That should be working. So if somebody wants to be brave and try that, so whoever, we got a raid. Creatrix, yeah, try words. Creatrix Brit raiding in with 12 people. Hello, Brit. Good to have you in. Thanks for dropping by. So right at the tail end of the quarter, so whoever just redeemed their channel points, you just got 10 additional bonus entries. So if you do bang entries, you'll see now that you've got 20 entry points for the giveaway in July. What's going on, Britt? How's your stream? Hope you're doing well. I was showing off this stupidly enormous dragon 3D print that I made. But welcome in, everybody. Aaron F. Geared, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming in on the raid with Britt, as well as everybody else coming in. Hello, I'm Ian, for those that don't know me. I typically do career prep, interview prep, resume reviews. I also do live programming, kind of what I'm doing right now for this giveaway bot. And then I write all my own chatbot code. And then Thursdays is typically my creative night where I'm like doing airbrushing or painting or 3D printing or modeling. Not so much on the modeling side, but like I show some of how I make like little jigs and stuff like that. Like my kid has a telescope and he wanted a way to like put his telescope, on a camera kind of thing. So I made a little mount for his little tiny portable camera and made this fit over the lens of the telescope so that he could take pictures through his telescope lens. Things like that, because he didn't want to save up his allowance money to buy the actual camera attachment. So he asked me to 3D design one for him instead. I should just buy him the attachment for all the time it's taking me. But yeah, welcome in. Britt, what were you doing on the stream? Enormous Dragon? Yeah, I'll show you what's going on. So thanks for the follows. Appreciate it. You'll see some blinky lights going on in the background here. So I've got this model from Fat Dragon Games that I really, really like. And it's called the Great Dragon. And this is kind of what it looks like. This is Polymaker's Dark Sparkle Red. It's basically sparkly cinnamon. It's not very red. It's kind of a chocolatey brown color. It does look a little bit red on the camera, but that's just my camera settings. But there's this model. This is 100% scale, and I printed it in resin. If you saw my Instagram and see the smog dragon that I airbrushed, that was basically this size. I did it in FDM as well. And this is the 100% size wing. And then I decided I was going to supersize it a little bit. So on the back of the head, let me pull the head off here. So there's 2 extra little holes on the side of the head for horns. One up here and one back here on the jaw. And basically this is the full-size horn that goes on the top of the head. Obviously you take the base off and then it's just a little ball and socket thing. And so you can kind of figure out how you want to position it. Do you want them to kind of swerve away from the head? Do you want them to swerve in towards the neck? Do you want them to curve up, curve down? Totally up to you. That's the 100% scale horn. I decided I was going to print this at 220% scale, and that's the beast sitting over my shoulder here. This is the 200% scale horn. So just to give you an idea of how big the head on this thing is going to be, this is the 100% scale head and neck. This is the horn for the head of the other one. It's almost as big as the head and the neck combined, because the head and the neck on this thing is slightly bigger. So there's the dragon heads next to each other, 220% scale. I did all of this in Polymaker's Polyterra filament. So that's the head. Here's just one of the wings compared to the head and the neck, by the way. Let me get the whole thing over here. So it's a little big. I kind of went ridiculous on this thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's enormous. So it's about 28 inches long. It's about 20 inches across the wingspan, and it's about 12 to 14 inches tall from the base to the top of the wing. It's freakishly huge. It's probably the biggest thing that I've ever printed. And I've printed some pretty big like model statues of like Spider-Gwen and Superman, and this thing is bigger than all of those. So yeah, it's enormously large. So I'm going to be airbrushing this in the month of July. This may be one of our monthly giveaways. I was also showing like one of the other, or the couple of the other designs that I'm going to be printing and airbrushing as well in the summer. Probably I'm going to try to get through them in July and try and airbrush them, and maybe do those as giveaways. But yeah, this is the big thick boy, and this is about 2+ spools of filament. So it's hefty. It's got some weight. I'm actually propping my left arm on the arm of my chair just to prop this up. But yeah, it's a big beefy boy for sure. And then I'm working on a couple of Daredevil cowls. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I got to take my glasses off because I'm old and I need glasses. So this one I ran out of filament partway through, so I had to change the filament out. But this one is going to need some sanding on the back. The back actually came out really rough on this, on the bamboo. The back side of it came out really awful on the bamboo. So bamboo is great for speed, but there's a lot of trade-off on quality. This one I did in PTG on the Voron over here, the Trudon. This one came out a lot nicer. And this one's PTG. It's a lot shinier that you can see, obviously, than the Polyterra. But this one's like super lightweight. So I'm going to be probably airbrushing this one. It needs a little bit of fill, a little bit more sanding, but I'm really happy with how these turned out. Once I figured out how to measure my melon and figure out what size to print these things at so they actually fit my head, it's pretty fantastic. So yeah, we got all kinds of fun stuff going on. I've got a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet printing on the Trudon right now for someone who comes and hangs out in my chat. I go hang out in his chat. He does a lot of gaming. He's really into Star Wars. So his girlfriend is into Star Wars because he's into Star Wars. So I'm making her a Bo-Katan Kryze helmet, and I'm making him a Mandalorian helmet. And so the Bo-Katan Kryze is going to be done in probably half an hour or so. But I've actually got to like bounce here myself in about 20 minutes. I've got a work meeting with some teammates over in India at 9:30. So I gotta bounce about 5 minutes before that. So I got about 15 minutes left to stream before I gotta raid out myself. But I'm also going to be priming those and airbrushing those before I send those out to California to GBAV. And then what else have I got going on? We got family visiting in July. So July is just going to be a whole lot of like painting. I'm going to be painting like nonstop in July. It's going to be great. Subsector, thank you. I got the email that you mailed that out to me, so appreciate that. So I'm looking forward. It was a turtle and something else. So I'm looking forward to getting those. I always love getting prints from other makers. So yeah, let's see what else is going on here. So yeah, that dragon is enormous. Just slightly bigger. Yeah. It was so big. When it was printing on my printer, every time I turned around and looked at it, I literally giggled. I'm like, why? Like, why am I making this thing so big? But the amount of detail that comes out on the wings is like really, really incredible. Like the amount of detail that the designer put in, and I'm sorry that the light is shining off so much of it, but you can kind of see the texture on the wing when I hold it at an angle here, like the scales and the veins and like the ribbing and all that kind of stuff that they put into the design, like just kind of the leathery look of the texture on the wing itself. Like the designers did a fantastic job on this, and it like all that detail came out really great, even at 220% scale. I wish I could. Yeah, you can see it a little better with the lights off. There we go. So you can see the amount of texture just on this part of the wing here. You can see that real leathery kind of texture that they built in. And all of that came out really, really nicely at 220% scale. Makes me laugh just saying it, but like here are the wings compared to each other, like 100% and 220%. So slightly larger. That thing will never fly. I know, right? It would be fun if I could like put a little propeller in the bottom and actually make it levitate. That would be great. So basically what I was working on the chatbot earlier is a way for people to kind of pick and choose what they want to get in the giveaway in July. So a couple of times a year, I do month-long giveaways for the fundraisers that I do to increase diversity in tech. It's something that's very near and dear to me and something I strongly believe in and I do on a very, very frequent basis. Right now, we're raising money for a group called STEM to the Future, and that's basically making STEM education, curriculum, and equipment available to Black and Latino schools that don't otherwise have access to that equipment, just to encourage those kids like, hey, you also belong in this community as well. You can be a maker, you can get into math, you can do science, engineering, all that stuff. Like, you're as much a part of this as everybody. And so I go through and I vet out all these businesses, and I actually go through their charitable tax returns and make sure that they're using the money appropriately and things like that. I found so at the beginning of the year when I was the end of last year when I was trying to find who we were going to donate money to in 2023, I found one group, for example, I'm like, oh, on paper, they look fantastic. And like, as far as like diversity in tech and how they run their mission and what they do to help people out. And the previous year they had raised $1 million, and like 850,000 of that went to the salaries of the people running the organization, which means of that $1 million that they raised, only $150,000 of that money actually went into the mission itself. The rest of it went into other people's pockets. And I get it. People don't have to work for free, but when 85% of the money that you take in pays the people, and you're not actually putting that much back into the community that you're trying to build up and support, I got a problem with that. And so I go through and I scrutinize. So when you see me raising money for these organizations, I've vetted them myself, that I believe in them. I'm willing to put my money into those as well. So the community goal right now is set at 2,000, but the community goal is 1,000, and then I match the other 1,000. So I'm also happy to match whatever you all contribute on those fundraisers. And if we go over it, we go over it. If we match it, we match it. If we don't match it, like last quarter, we didn't quite match it. That's okay. We rolled over to STEM to the Future once that quarter was done. And once we finish with STEM to the Future, I'll find another organization. I haven't had time yet to sit down and vet out another group yet. But that's the fundraiser that we're doing. And so the month-long giveaway is just to raise awareness of who this group is and what they do and how they're helping people. And I encourage everybody, like, whenever you're giving money, whenever you're donating money, make sure that whoever's getting that money is using it responsibly. Otherwise, what's the point? You're putting money in the pockets of people instead of putting the money into actually helping the people. Yes, they use some of that money, but how much of that money are they actually using? And again, I'm not saying that all these people have to work for free or work for extremely low salaries or whatever. Like, you need to make a living. But when your organization is only using like a really small percent of the money they take in to actually do the mission that they're supposed to be doing, I'm not going to give you my money. And I'm not going to encourage other people to give you money either. It's just, that's how I roll. So the July giveaway, every time I stream in July, you'll be able to come in, you'll enter a giveaway. But then I've also got like a registration link, and that's going to give you additional giveaway points. If you send me a resume for a resume review, I'm going to give you extra giveaway points. If you ask questions in chat around like career preparation and so on, I'm going to give you points for those. So I'm trying to find ways of like giving you entries into the giveaway. And then once we get to the actual like big giveaway of like the dragons and things like that, and I'll show you the other designs here before I take off, then you'll get to choose. I want to put 10 of my entries into that prize. I want to put 100 of my entries into that prize, and you'll get to pick and choose where you put those entries. So that's kind of what I want to do on that one. Come on, this is Riker. Riker wants to come say hi to everybody. Hello, puppy. Hi. Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Talk to people. Talk. Boy? Yeah. Show you the other two designs that I'm considering for the giveaways for July. And they are all dragon themed because that's how I roll. But let's go through and we'll find. Let me go back over to this screen, show you the browser. So this is a group called Loot Studios, and they've got this magical creature called the Proto Dragon. This was actually part of. This was something that I saw from a tweet from Elegoo, and I saw this and I'm like, I need that model. Like, if for no other reason, I want this model. It comes in many, many, many pieces. This is something like a 50-piece model. The building is like 20 pieces alone, and the dragon is like tons of little individual pieces as well. Best done on resin, so I'm going to be doing this one in resin, and then painting it, and then assembling it. So I'm going to paint the dragon separately from the building. This one's going to be pretty intricate, and I'm trying to think of a good theme to paint this dragon. So if anybody's got suggestions on that, I'm happy to take suggestions. But that was one of them. And then the other one is, it's down here in props, and it's this dragon head trophy. And this one comes in a couple of pieces. Where are you? There you are. So there's a base, and then there's like the head of the dragon kind of mounted. So think of like, old-timey hunters that would like, chop off the head and like put it on a plaque and put that on the wall kind of thing. That's basically what this is. But I'm going to be printing this on the really, really big printer. And so this thing's going to be enormous because that's how I roll now. It's going to be big. So from the tip of the horn, the tip of the snout is basically going to take up the diagonal space on my 350 millimeter printer. And I was actually showing that off here a minute ago in the Orca Slicer. So this is the enormity of what I'm about to print as soon as the Mandalorian helmet is done. So I'm finishing Bo-Katan Kryze, and the Mandalorian helmet is going to get done, and then this one's going to start printing after that. So just the plaque sort of base part alone is several inches thick, and takes up a pretty good chunk of size on the printer. And I'm going to paint this all separately. I'll probably do it in a dark wood colored filament, and then go in and paint the tail and paint these wings. And I'll probably do the wings in a gold, and I'll paint the tail in like a bright green or something like that. I haven't really decided yet. But there's also these really cool scales and stuff in the background. You're going to lose some of that detail when you actually mount the dragon head on there. But on the back of the plate, you've actually got the little screw hole thing to like hang it on the wall. So you'll actually be able to hang this thing on the wall somewhere. And then the dragon head itself is just, it's another one of those like ridiculously enormous things. The other idea would be to digitally color this and print it on the bamboo and have the bamboo like take care of the colors in here. But I think I'm going to get better like color gradients by painting this, where I can come from a bone color and like, a scale color and like gradually fade that down into a bone color and get in some really nice shading and stuff like that. But there's a lot of horns on this guy. So I need to figure out like what color do I want to make the horns, and there's lots of teeth, lots of little twofers going on here, lots of teeth coming out of the jaw and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to figure out a color scheme for this. But yeah, it's gonna be a little large. It's gonna be a little big. So those are the 3 dragons that I've got in mind for July. I may put it to a vote at the beginning of July of like, which of these should I give away? Or do I do 2 of them and, we do both of those as giveaways and like people can choose? Or do I give one away? Do I auction one off on eBay or something like that, and that money goes into the charity? I don't know. Need to figure all that kind of stuff out. So I'm happy to take feedback on that. If anybody, if you ever have feedback, I'm always open to feedback, positive, negative, as long as it's constructive. I'm happy to always take feedback. So you can DM me, you can join our Discord community and ping me on Discord if you want. Totally up to you. But I'm just iandouglas736 on Discord. I went through the rename thing, so I don't have the numbers after my name anymore. So you can find me on Discord as iandouglas736. Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, I use the same username everywhere. So if you ever have feedback or ideas on like, what about this? Always open to feedback and ideas. So feel free to drop those in at any time. It's going to be really fun when it's finished, Polybius. I think it's going to be a pretty neat model for sure. It's going to be a pretty neat model. The dragon that's kind of wrapping around the building, that one's going to be pretty involved, and it's a lot of pieces. So I need to figure out like how best to do those as a resin print. Because when I was at Rocky Mountain, I actually won a giant jug of resin, and it's a really dark gray. So it's a really dark gray resin. So I may do the dragon in that dark gray and then prime it and then like paint it from there. Because then if I don't want to paint a lot of it, it's still going to have that dark gray color. So for example, I could leave the building that dark gray and just make the dragon really colorful to kind of pop out against the building. I don't know. I need to figure that out. But I'm gonna print and probably assemble the dragon, paint the dragon, or put it together temporarily that I can do blending between the pieces and then like take it apart for shipping and then give you instructions on how to put it together for whoever wins that one. But then I may not paint the building. I haven't decided yet. I've seen some really nice like painted versions of that sculpture already that look really, really nice. So we'll see. We'll see how far I get on all the painting. So I have a feeling I'm going to be like stuck down here in the basement with a respirator and doing like tons and tons of painting like all month long. But it should be pretty fun either way. Cool. Well, I need to bounce out here myself because I got to get ready for this meeting in a couple of minutes. So who can we go raid? Who haven't I raided in a really, really long time? All right, I got a raid target in mind. This person does some coding. They're working on a side project right now on a mobile app. They've been a part of our community in the past. Yeah, we're going to go raid over to this person. So we're going to go raid over to Creative Null. You returned with food. All right, just in time for me to leave. So we're going to go raid over to Creative Null. I'm going to go find a dad joke for us to paste in chat over there. So I'd like to have kids one day. I don't think I could stand them any longer than that, though. So do me a favor, grab that dad joke, and we'll go drop that in chat when we get over to Creative Null's chat. And then I'm going to have to like bounce right away because I got to do this work meeting. And I will see you all on Sunday. I'm hoping I'll be done my workshop in time to stream on Sunday. So when I stream on Sunday, it may be late depending on how long my speaking engagement goes on Sunday and what time it is. I'll do my best to stream at some point on Sunday. So I'll catch you all on Sunday. We'll see you over in Creative Null's chat. Be nice, be kind. They're a friend of our community, so be nice over there. And we'll catch you all next time. Thanks again to Cratrix Brick for the raid. Everybody that raids in, they get put in a separate giveaway. So I'm just still trying to figure out what that's going to be. But the quarter's almost over, so we'll be doing that giveaway at the end of the month as well. So we'll catch y'all next time. Cheers.